A very good evening to all of you in today's session. We are continuing our learning into sprint. Yesterday, I remember we had stopped on this point prior to this, and now let us get started into sprint planning. Okay. So, anyone here who was not available yesterday, who is not aware about what had happened, anyone who missed yesterday's session?
I'm here, Mrs. Prerna.
Yeah.
This is Ujjwala. Yesterday I missed the session because my daughter had a dance performance.
Okay. Okay.
So it's like,
No worries.
yeah.
No worries. Were you able to watch the recordings by any chance?
Yeah, I can
Okay,
watch
I'm not sure. Sorry,
the recording.
it was not shared, if I'm not wrong. No, it was not shared. My bad, my bad. No worries. So, Ujjwala, let me give you some background. We are kind of revising. Even yesterday, when I had stopped before Gaurav had joined, we were learning about sprint planning from an image point of view, and now we are getting into it at a theory point of view. So, don't worry. Once the recording is shared, you will get to understand. But even in today's session, we will be learning a lot similar concepts in detail. Okay. So don't worry, you haven't missed anything at such much. Okay, you will be able to catch up.
Okay.
Fine. So let us understand what is sprint planning. Okay, just as a refresher for everyone, sprint is basically a time duration of the entire development activity or delivery period. Okay, so generally, typically the sprint is of 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and very rare cases it can be of 1 week. But generally, that is not advisable because it's a very less amount of period to work in 5 days. Like 1 week is like 5 working days. So generally, we look at it as like 2 weeks point of view. In my career experience, I have typically worked in a sprint of 2 weeks, roughly, majorly. So now this is the sprint. So what do you do in the sprint? That is what happens in sprint planning, right? So we know that we have to deliver to the customer. We know that the customer has requirements. We know that we have to complete the work by this time, but how we will do it, right? So the how part is done in this planning. Everybody with me on this? Now everybody understands what happens in sprint planning? Yes, no,
Yes, yes.
any doubts? Yes, yeah. So as the name suggests, we are planning the upcoming sprint. That is the sprint planning event, and it is one of the first and major events in this Scrum or major ceremony in this Scrum methodology. Okay, we call it as a ceremony because it's an important event or important ceremony to carry out the entire operation. Now let us understand what are the inputs and what are the outputs of this entire process or entire ceremony. So can I request one person to read out the inputs, please? Go ahead, anyone?
A great, a great starting point for the sprint plan is the product backlog, as it provides a list of stuff that could potentially be part of the current sprint. The team should also look at the existing work done in the increment and have a view to capacity.
Thank you so much for reading, Aparna. So now what it says, and I know there are some different word like product backlog and capacity, but increment. But trust me, it simply means whatever work or whatever requirement we already have with us, no, given by the customer, out of which the prioritized or most important as per the customer will be worked upon. Okay, so this is the gist of it. So even if you don't remember the words like increment and stuff, you should remember what it does. So input is whatever the customer had given us as a requirement, from which the customer has asked what is the priority. As per that, we will take the I would say product backlog item. Now what is product backlog? By the way, I'm just giving one liner refresher for all the concepts, just for everyone. I could see some faces coming after a long time, just be feeling like to give a little bit of refresher. So again, product backlog is like the I would say the superset, like the repository in which all the requirements given by the customer, all the actionable items. And when I say actionable item means all the functionalities, all the requirements that needs to be worked upon, those are mentioned. And from that product backlog, imagine it has a big ladder, okay, big ladder. So it's like a list. It looks like a ladder for your imagination, for your visualization. And from that, we take out a small subset. I mean, we take out a small ladder from that big ladder to complete the work. So it's basically, we have in earlier images, if I may so, or I'll have to draw by myself, which is not a great scenario, but still I'll try. So basically, it is like, great color, let me change it. So basically, I can draw. This is your product backlog. Okay. I mean, this is supposed to be bigger. Just a visual representation. Okay. So you know what we do. And these are all your PBIs, that is product backlog items. And those items are mentioned as per priority and order. Okay. Everybody here understands priority. Yes. I would need some response. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes.
Pranav.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Do you also understand order in this context? When I say as per priority and as per order means, first of all, as per the urgency or importance of the customer, that is the priority. And order means when you're working into something, when you are developing any application or any product or any websites, there is an order, there is a dependency, right? I think I had given this example yesterday itself, like if you have an online bank account, okay, if you have an online bank account, so to access that or to make payments or to make transfers or to make any other activities, to do any other activity, the first and foremost thing is, somebody had replied that yesterday, to access an online bank account, what is the first and foremost step?
You said login.
User ID
Login.
password.
Yes, yes. So unless you click on that login button, can you go to the next step? Yes or no?
No.
No.
Right? Perfect. So same way, I mean, this is a very, very simple example just for your understanding. Same way, in many in entire development process, there are dependencies. Okay, there are dependencies, there are order, there is a sequence, like okay, you have, like you know how the data flows. Now let me tell you how the data flows. Like in Gmail, you log in, and then when your Gmail opens, you get to see your only emails, right? You don't get, when you log in with your account, you don't see your spouses or your parents or your kids mails, right? But how that information is carried, that your user ID and password is taken, it's validated against database, and from that only your mails are taken out, right? Gmail must have like billions and trillions of accounts, right or wrong, right?
Yes.
So from that, how only your account or your details are fetched up. Same manner, same logic is applied in multiple applications. That's why the order, okay, though it is not mentioned here, but I had mentioned. But I'm saying that this is prioritized in order. And from this, now this is your, I mean, imagine this as big as possible. It is like the product backlog with so many items. And from that, every sprint, you take out this small sprint backlog, right? So it will probably come from here. Can you see this? So it has come from top. You have taken the top chunk. Now, may this is this chunk. Are you able to understand what is a product backlog and what is a sprint backlog? Any doubts? Any doubt? Anyone who is still not able to understand what is a sprint backlog? Perfect. So what it says is that a in sprint planning, we take or we point out the stuff, that means the requirements or the workable, actionable items from the product backlog. And this is a very beautiful choice of word, guys. Okay, what it says is that is potentially be part of the current sprint. Potentially means, see, right now we are in the planning phase. Okay, we have not yet planned. We are going to confirm or decide on that. So that's why it is potential. That means these all the items have the potential to be in this sprint because they are on the top, they are prioritized, and they are in order. Okay, so that is why the potential work word has been mentioned. Next point. Next is the team should also look at the existing work done in the increment and have a view to capacity. Now, this simply means that if we are continuing from the earlier sprint, till now, the team has also got some fair idea about what is their capacity. Capacity in context that imagine if we have 5 team members, okay, just for simplicity's sake, 5 team members in development team, and all 5 of them are available for the next 2 weeks. There are no vacations planned. Everybody is healthy and hearty. Everything is going good. So that means they are gonna work in their full capacity, right? And in case if there is any absenteeism, there is any personal emergency, or there is any planned vacation, then we'll have to kind of recalculate it. Okay, out of these five, one person is not available for 5 days, or one person has a planned leave of 2 days. See, why we are doing this at such micro level? Because sprint is extremely time sensitive. Okay, you are working for only 10 days and you have to deliver. So it is like your mock test after every 10 days. I'm calling it as a mock test, but it is an actual test, to be very honest, right? You are uh, going to have reviews, you are going to talk to the customer, you're going to present to the customer, so everything is at stake. Okay, though it might not sound and feel so scary when you actually work, but the pressure is real, trust me, because it's a very I would say small timeline, but then we plan it in such a way that it is definitely workable and deliverable. Okay, so our inputs are yes. So basically, we look at the stuff which we could possibly work on, and also we try to understand the team's capacity. Yeah, everybody okay with what are the inputs? Everybody okay with the inputs?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyone has any doubts? Okay. So these are the things on which we discuss or plan in the sprint planning. Now, very simple, straightforward. What are the outputs? Can I request someone to read it out, please? Go ahead.
The most important outcome for the sprint planning meeting is that the team can describe the goal of the sprint and how they will start working towards the goal. This is made visible in the sprint backlog.
Yes. Now, this entire process, I would say the sprint planning process has a sole goal. Okay, now this sounds quite funny. The sole goal is sprint goal. When I say sprint goal means in this entire sprint, what are we planning to achieve? When I say what are we planning to achieve, that simply means what are we trying to, or what are we striving to deliver to the customer? And trust me, it is very important. So, like if we can take the earlier example of bank login and bank transfer, then if I have to deliver the functionality of money transfer in any particular bank account. Imagine I'm working for a blank, client that is a particular bank, and they want to build their website, or they want to kind of revamp their earlier website. So our functionality is to be able to do the fund transfer in the bank. So what all things are important, right? What all needs to be done? That should be your sprint goal. So what you would need to done, what you would need to do that, okay, I need to write such queries that, first of all, the user ID and password entered by the customer will be validated. Even prior to that, I need to have a web form or a web page wherein user can input its user ID and password, and that, they should be able to give this data. Even prior to that, I should have I would say, before logging in, I should have a sign in form, right? We anyways always first sign in into any account or any application or any website. So first of all, I would need the use, and sign in means new user registration. So I would need a new user registration, for that. So all these things are prior to your transfer or your bank transfer. So now this is the dependency. Now this is your, I would say, product backlog item. So what are we saying? If our goal is to have the bank transfer activity to be done, all the related product backlog items should be taken into consideration, and this is made visible in the sprint backlog. That means all these requirements are already present in this sprint, and they are taken, and that looks very, I would say, prominent, that okay, these are the items, like, as we were saying, these are the items which we will take out from the, I would say, sprint. So imagine all these one, two, small item, all these are which we have mentioned. Imagine, so all these will go as a input, and once we deliver them, they will become our output. Any doubts and inputs and output, quite important. That's why we have given enough amount of time. So everyone okay with it? Any doubts? Should we go to the next slide, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Super, super, super. Thank you so much. And please call me Prerna. I'll appreciate that. Yeah. So everybody, can you see this image on my screen?
Yes, Pranav, I can see.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
visible? Okay. Let me enlarge it. It is a very simple image, but trust me, I really prefer images. I am a very visual person. So I like when there are images, there are colors, there are, other stuff. So here, now see, we had, good, I kept this. We had made product backlog like this. On your whiteboard, on your actual office, you can have it in this format. Can you see? Now, assumingly, anyone who works or closely works or manages product backlog, that has to be the product owner. Okay, see the name, product owner, product backlog. It is there in his or her name. So there's only one. And by the way, this is a trick question. Can in the course of interview or in discussion, somebody might ask you like, okay, in this Scrum methodology, can anyone handle or work on product backlog? So your first and foremost answer should be that product backlog is always managed and maintained or handled by product owner only. So we always have one person to manage this. That's why, see, on the meetings or discussions, we have multiple people, but here we have only one. They could have had another people or many more, I would say development team members, but no. And here, if you could see, there are some ticks that has been done. There is something in the red that might be, urgent or important. So kind of, they have tried to make it look like it is prioritized or it is in order, and he's working on it. Now, in sprint planning meeting, though we have kind of only two people in this image, generally is the entire development team. That means your business analyst, developers, testers, system architect, security personnel, anywhere, designers, whichever I would say skilled resources you have in your team, product owners, scrum master. So everybody will be there. And in this meeting, they're having this discussion. They already have could see, they already have the data or the requirements or the product backlog items available with them, and from that they are discussing, and this person is also jotting it down, right? So one can be Scrum Master, one can be the team member who is kind of taking the minutes of the meeting, MOM, and then this meeting is carried out, and this is really really nice. So from this, our goal, our ultimate goal is to achieve the sprint goal, or our motive or our objective is to achieve the sprint goal. And I know this is little dramatic, nobody actually has a flag in office, but this basically symbolizes that we are achieving the sprint goal, we are hitting or we are achieving the sprint goal. Yeah, easy. This is an extremely easy and simple diagram. I don't think so we need any further explanation. Let us move to the next slide. Okay. So can I request someone to read it out, please? The first paragraph. Anyone?
Scrum Sprint is a repeatable fixed time box during which a done product of the highest possible value is created. Sprint lies at the core of the Agile methodology and can be thought of as an event which wraps all other Scrum events like daily Scrums, Scrum Review, and Scrum Retrospective.
Thank you so much, Ujjwala, for reading it out. So what are we saying here? We are saying that we're again kind of trying to understand or trying to define what is a what is a sprint in a Scrum. So as we earlier, in the beginning of the session discussed that sprint is basically a time duration. So now there are some important words. So let me erase this thing. Give me a second. Vanishing pen. What names they give, huh? Okay. Give me a second. I don't know. I just feel like I go back to school when I do this. I mean, it's just really funny. Yeah. So basically, this means that every every time duration or every sprint is repeatable. When I say repeatable, it has a very simple meaning. That means it is it is gonna keep coming one after another. And the most important part is it's a fixed time box. Okay, fixed, everybody understand? I don't think so I need to explain. Fixed means okay, it's confirmed. And time box, in simple English or for our understanding, means duration. Okay, so what are we saying? We are saying that sprint is a repeatable, as in it's a continuous happening time duration which is of fixed time. So that means we have sprint which is decided, and sprint duration which is already decided, and that duration will keep repeating. In simple words, if we have a sprint of 2 weeks, okay, our next sprint will also be of 2 weeks. So all our subsequent sprints will be of the same duration. Now you may ask, is this a mandate or why do we do it? So there is a simple explanation for that, because unless we have same time duration or same, I would say, timelines to finish, we will not be able to gauge or understand our delivery, uh, I would say, speed or method, or how are we able to, or we will not be in a position to kind of come up with the sprint goal. Like imagine if today you have a sprint of 2 weeks, okay, and you are delivering 10 requirements, imagining one requirement at from one day, though which is highly unlikely to happen, but just for simplicity's sake. And next you have a sprint of five, like no 1 week, that is 5 days. Then you would only deliver maybe one or two, or maybe at the max three, four. And then again, if you have a sprint of 4 weeks, so honestly speaking, it is very haphazard. It doesn't work because you are not you will not be, as a team, you will not be able to produce a proper output. You will not be able to achieve the goal if you don't have consistency in timelines. Okay, so that is why even in real life, if you are not able to finish some work or your sprint on time, still that sprint is generally, it is announced or it is marked as completed, and you take those pending items or earlier sprint backlog items in the next sprint. Generally, a sprint is never extended. Like, how we have timelines. So it is not. So it is always time box. So if you have not completed, or if something is not done, not completed, that will be still taken into next sprint. The earlier sprint will end as per its schedule. Everybody with me on this? Yes? Yes, I need to know that you are understanding. Yes, no?
Yes.
Any doubts?
Yes.
Rupa, Guruji, Geeta, Dev, Ujjwala, Kajal,
No.
Subran, Aparna. All of you.
Yes.
Yeah, with me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Just making sure you all are awake and trying to understand the concept. Perfect. So now what we say, sprint lies at the core of the sprint agile methodology. Absolutely. Because it is the main functionality, how we operate, and can be thought of as an event. So it's basically an event which has all the other events, right? So in short, what has sprint has in this duration of development time, you have daily scrum, like you every day you come up, you stand. By the way, daily scrum are also called as stand-up meetings for the obvious reason that everybody stands in that meeting, nobody sits. We will come to that in upcoming sessions. It's very interesting and it is very, very effective. Personally, my favorite as in it's it's absolutely effective because you don't spend your time like some government official sitting on chair and just wasting your time. No, you have to come into a conference room or anywhere where you're working from. If everybody is situated at one location nearby desk, so you just stand up and you just give three updates. We will come to those updates when we learn about that topic, and that's it. So it barely takes, I mean, maximum 10 to 15 minutes. And by the way, 15 minutes is a max because you're standing, so physically it is taxing, and as you have entire day to go ahead to work on, it is not advisable to stretch these meetings. But everybody knows what everybody's working on, and that's a great start of the day. Okay, so, very effective daily Scrum, that is stand-up meeting, then Scrum review and Scrum retrospective. Okay, as the name suggests, Scrum review means you review your work, with the stakeholders. So, your most and important and primary stakeholder in this scenario is customer. So, they review your work. Okay, he or she or the group of people who come from. When we say review, that means you present whatever work that you have done. That is supposed to be the sprint goal. When I say whatever, that means all the requirements which were agreed upon, which were confirmed by the customer, and which you had agreed to finish. All that functionality, all that, or that entire sprint goal is presented to the customer and the stakeholders which are available, which are interested. And last but not the least, that is sprint retrospective. And don't worry, guys, we will learn this all these ceremonies in detail. It's just a force of habit that whenever I go through any new terminology, I feel like giving at least some basic explanation so everybody understand what we are, getting into. And last but not the least, sprint retrospective. Now, in this event, what do you mean by when we say retrospect? Anyone in English, okay? Doesn't matter, it has to be screen.
Going
What does retrospect? Yeah,
going
somebody
back,
said
going back in reverse order.
going back, going back or reverse. Okay, what about others? Thank you, Aparna.
Recheck.
Anyone else want to try?
Recheck.
Sorry?
Recheck.
Recheck. Geeta is saying recheck. Okay. Interesting. Yes.
Uh,
Others? No
yeah,
input?
what, so during the project, what worked, what did not, and how we
Mm-hmm.
can improve upon in the future. The
Now, Dave,
retrospect.
that's the cheat sheet. You knew it and you answered perfectly. That's actually a cheat sheet. So absolutely right. So Dave, would you like to repeat that? You made my work simpler. So just repeat what you had mentioned, and that is what is sprint retrospective. Go ahead.
So during that
Perfect.
sprint, what worked, what did not, and how, what lesson we learned from this sprint and how we can apply how we can improve upon during the next sprint. So that's sprint
Perfect.
retrospective.
Perfect. Now, guys, that is sprint retrospective. And I'm so glad that they from previous batch could recall the exact, I mean, I won't say exact words, but exact meaning. That is what we're looking at. Thank you so much, Dev. You made my day. I'm so glad. Perfect choice of work. So what worked, what did not work, and what lesson that we are taking from it, and how we can improve. So now this retrospective is actually working on both the sides, personal and professional. So professionally, how you could deliver better technology skill wise, how you can improve. On personal front, how you can make yourself more productive, how you can make yourself more skillful. That is what it is. So basically, as the explanation given by Geeta and Aparna, definitely looking back, understanding what has happened and learning from it. Thank you so much, all of you, especially Dave, for the perfect choice of word. Now let us understand the next paragraph, what it says. Yeah, anyone wants to volunteer? Go ahead.
Sprint is one-time box iteration of a continuous development cycle. Within a sprint, planned amount of work has to be completed by the team and made ready for review. Scrum projects are broken down into small and consistent time intervals referred to as sprints. They can be as short as a few days and generally are no longer than 3 to 4 weeks.
Thank you so much for reading, Gibran. So yes, so honestly speaking, it is more or less about what we have already discussed, right? But let us go through it, briefly. So we are saying that a sprint is a time boxed, which we, learned in this scenario also, time boxed event. Yeah. So this is the time box, this part. Okay. This is copy paste in simple English. So time box iteration is the same. Next is of a continuous development cycle. Okay, then this is an important point where we are saying that the development that we are doing is continuous, is going to happen again and again, right? So development that is happening is continuous. So the development that is happening is continuous. Like, we don't stop this week, sorry, this sprint and upcoming sprint. So every sprint you're just working on it. Next, within sprint, planned amount of work has to be completed by the team and made ready for review. We have just in detailed discussed on that entire sprint. You're working on the items given by the customer. Those needs to be the priority items, I would say important items, ordered items that we have, and we are working on that. And then Scrum projects are broken into small and consistent time, intervals referred to as sprint. Now, honestly speaking, maybe I'll do that. This sentence has to be the first one because it sounds like a definition, right? So some Scrum projects are broken down into small and consistent time intervals referred to as sprint. So in case I know generally doesn't work that way, but in case somebody out of curiosity or out of their habit ask you what is a sprint, okay? So this is your answer that Scrum projects are broken down into small and actionable items which are called as sprint. You get it? So these are the sprint, and they can be as short as generally 1 week, that is 5 days, or it can be as long as 3 to 4 weeks. So we are absolutely done with this. Any doubts in this, any doubts into Scrum events, sorry, Scrum sprint? Anyone? All okay? Please send me thumbs up if you're not able to unmute, or say okay, whichever works.
Okay.
Okay, no.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you. Yes. So continuing this, I'll just finish this and then I'll hand it over to Gaurav because we are in the flow. So what does this say? Tell me. Can anyone read it out? Scrum sprint? Yeah.
During a sprint, there is a development team that comprises of cross-functional members who are capable of
Mm-hmm.
achieving the sprint goals. This could
Mm-hmm.
include software engineers, architects, programmers, analysts, system admins, QA experts, testers, UI designers, etc.
Yes. So I think I even had mentioned that. So basically, what it says that this during this sprint, the team members, I'll come to that, they're called as cross functional, but I'm just saying team members are striving and are working to achieve the sprint goal. Okay, now there is an adjective given to this members that is called as cross functional, right? So what do you understand when you hear the word cross functional? Anyone except Dave for the start, then I'll go to Dave, if we don't get the perfect answer. So yeah, anyone, what is cross functional? Just out of Indian, sorry, English dictionary, not related to sprint or anything.
I
Can we
think
hear this word?
I think different
Mm-hmm.
teams like development, testing, all different teams working together.
From what I
Okay, so you are saying,
yeah.
okay, okay, interesting. Anybody else?
From what I understand, cross-functional means people who are experts in their domains in different domains.
Okay, that's an interesting answer. Yes. Yes. What about others? People who are on constant mute. What happened? Guruji, Swarupa, any hurdles you have? Yeah, or just tired today? Yeah. What do you think? Others? Want
In
to add
my
something? We are. Mm-hmm.
in my
Go
medical
ahead.
profession like doctors and team member and other cross functional team like IT members,
Mm.
other therapist member. Uh,
Yes, yes. I'm so glad. I'm so glad we have such a beautiful blend. So I don't want to take much time. All of you are absolutely right, and this is a very good example. Yes. So generally, now this is a personal example. My mother had gone through major operation some years back. So the doctors or the surgeons are the main ones who operate on the patient, right? I'm just taking your example. Thank you so much, for the reference. Uh, so the doctors are the one who operate, or the surgeons are the one who operate. Then comes a doctor for the regular checkup. Then comes the nurses for the regular medication. Then comes the physiotherapist, for the further activities. Then comes the, I would say, psychologist or counselors for the mental, health understanding. So all of them work together. Now, now apparently they are all from the medical field. Okay, same, but still their specialization is different. Same way, though everyone is in IT, but they will be cross domain. Like for example, a tester and developer are like the two sides of a coin. They work together, but their work is completely different. One is creating something, and second is by testing, they're actually trying to destroy it. When I say destroyed, that means they are not gonna destroy it with a negative or bad purpose. They are trying to break your code or break your program, just to ensure that once it is broken, you can fix it here, and that goes robust or perfect to the customer, right? So they are both from working in a very different direction. But again, what are we saying? Though we have this blend, we are saying that people should be cross-skilled. That means uh, if a programmer can also work as a business analyst or has knowledge of business analyst, analysis, that will be great. They know how to talk to the customer, they know how to deal with them. That's one. Second is, if a business analyst knows how to do testing, they can also be of help, right? If a business analyst has multiple domain understanding, that would be of great help. Or also, a programmer that could also test or do testing, that could be of great help. So we are looking at people who have more capabilities and more, and I would say skills, not only confined to their specialization. Yeah. So that is cross functional. So, and in this we have software engineers and architects that we had discussed, programmers, mean developers, BAs, system admins, database expert, quality assurance experts, designer, web designers, everything that you could think of, that we have, and that is the ultimate blend of this team. Okay. That is why, if you could see, I'm not sure how this image is visible to you, but all the team members are in different colors. The colors are slightly like, this is gray, this is greenish, this is little, I don't know, reddish, purplish, this is light blue. So all of them come together and fit exactly like some part of the puzzles, right? So training, coaching, mentoring. So these are all highly skilled and building a self-organizing team. That means you don't need a manager, you don't need a person to manage them or to look after them. They are self-sufficient, they are self-reliant, they are highly motivated, and they are the best of best which you have to work with. Everybody with me on this? Any doubts?
Prerna,
No.
Prerna, good.
Yeah.
I don't have a doubt,
Yes.
but I wanted to put forward my perspective towards the cross-functional team.
Mm-hmm.
Can I? So,
Yeah,
so
please go ahead.
yeah, so smaller companies where they don't have a great deal of a budget, and for a project. So,
Mm-hmm.
let's say
Mm-hmm.
BA, sometimes BA works as a Scrum Master, and sometimes
Mm-hmm. Right.
developer works as a Scrum Master as well, because the company cannot afford to hire,
They don't have the
different people.
funds. Yeah.
So they bring, even though they work as a developer, they do have an expertise, in Agile, so they can work as a Scrum Master. So that's also
Absolutely.
the part of a cross-functional team where,
Absolutely right.
yeah,
That's what
yeah.
we were discussing. Uh, and thank you for bringing out the budget part. So yes, guys, this is a very realistic and real life scenario. What Dave had just mentioned. In smaller organizations, even assumingly the projects are also comparatively smaller, and they really have small teams and definitely a smaller budget as compared to larger organizations. So in that scenario, one person has to wear multiple hats. Okay, and that is absolutely fine. Even in bigger organizations, sometimes if a person is talented and they have tons of experience and they are good at what they do, they are given multiple jobs to handle, multiple, I would say, if they have multiple skills, they are given more responsibility or more work than other typical resource which are very limited skill. Yeah. So this is real life. Okay, this is what we discuss is practical, that happens in day-to-day business. Okay. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for your responses. I'll invite Gaurav to continue the session. Gaurav, you there? You can start from here.
Yeah,
You're audible.
sure. Sure. Prerna, Aparna
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
say
Should I?
something?
Yeah.
No,
Aparna, you were saying
No.
something?
no.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Should
Yeah,
I
you can.
stop share?
Yeah. Yes, you can. You can.
Perfect.
All
Thank you
right.
so much. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
guys. Over to you, Gaurav.
Thank you. So right now we are looking at sprint planning. Very, very soon we will go through all the ceremonies. So you are understanding sprint planning, part, plan, scope, and each and everything. But we need to understand what exactly happens before the sprint. Okay. And I had yesterday explained some spatial meeting that may happen before the sprint. Who remember that? Anyone? Anyone who remember? You can say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, you remember, Geeta? Could you please share the name?
It's a grooming meeting.
Thank you so much, Geeta. Really, really applaud for you because, yeah, thank you for remembering that. And everyone, you can remember that too. That we are talking about sprint grooming, not sprint. It's called backlog refinement meeting or backlog grooming meeting. And yesterday also, we looked at two items, two things, which I explained in detail. That is called as velocity and capacity. Do you all remember that?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, super. Thank you. So now what this slide says that before sprint, what happens? There is sprint planning meeting. The length of the sprint planning meeting is proportional to the length of the sprint. In fact, we spoke about this as well. So if we have spoken about this as well, let me ask you randomly, can I ask that? Yeah, Ujjwala, Kajal, Swarupa, Dev, or
Yeah.
yeah. So I'll call out your name, and you need to tell me, and I'm not going to confirm whether you spoke answered right or wrong. So tell me, Geeta, uh, if my sprint duration is of 1 week, how long my sprint planning meeting should go?
Um,
What will be the duration of sprint planning meeting?
it's 5 hours, I think. I don't
Okay.
remember exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Let me hear from Jubran now. Jubran, if our sprint duration is 2 weeks, how long our sprint planning meeting should go?
Uh, I think 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Sorry, sorry.
Okay,
Can you please repeat this?
the total duration of my sprint is of 2 weeks. How many
Yes,
weeks? 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
So you need to tell me sprint planning meeting should go for how long?
Uh, few days, but
Okay. You want to pass?
yes.
Okay, thank you, Jubran. Let me hear from Aparna. Aparna, I want you to attempt this. If my sprint duration is 2 weeks, how long my sprint planning meeting should go for? And please, guys, no chat GPT, no Google, nothing. Please pay attention over here. I just want to check whether you remember from yesterday or not. Yeah, Aparna.
Is it between 4 hours to 5 hours?
Yes, it's 4 hours, not 5 hours. Can we give a round of applause to Aparna for the right answer? Thank you so much, Aparna. Now, let me quickly check with the Kajal as well. Kajal, what should be the sprint planning meeting duration if the total sprint duration is of 4 weeks? Kajal, I want you to attempt this. Do you want me to repeat the question?
Yeah, 80 hours.
How many hours?
80.
Okay, okay. So guys, thank you so much for attempting the answer. So the one I got the answer, I really applauded for that, and it was Aparna's answer. Thank you so much. Rest, I'm not going to tell whether your answer were wrong or whatever. So you can guess on that. Okay, coming back to this, always your sprint planning meeting duration will be double of the amount when it comes to in terms of number of the duration of the week. So sprint is always calculated in terms of week, in terms of what, everyone?
Weeks.
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 And if it is 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is, the double in terms of hours, the sprint planning meeting duration would be. So if it is 1 week of the sprint, the sprint planning meeting will be of how many hours?
2 hours.
2 hours, right? If it is 2 weeks of sprint planning meeting will be of how many hours?
4 hours.
4 hours. And if it is going to be 3 weeks of sprint, how long your planning meeting would be?
6 hours.
6 hours. And for 4 weeks?
8 hours.
8 hours. Now, sometime not necessarily it will go for 8 hours. It may also get confined within 7 hours. Sometime if it is 3 weeks, it may not go or run up to 6 hours. It may be also lesser than that, means between 5 to 6 hours. Okay. Same will go with the
4
1 week
hours.
of sprint. It can be up to 2 hours. Okay. Or 90 minutes or so. Okay. With me so far, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
No?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Please remember that. Okay. You might be asked during the interview question as well. Now, this sprint planning meeting determines what the goals are for the sprint based on the team velocity. Now, how would you identify the team velocity? You remember that? Based on the past performance, right? And velocity is what? Just to repeat, the rate
Speed.
of the speed. Yeah. Go ahead, Kajal, you want to say? If you
Velocity
have
means
taken,
speed.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, velocity means speed, but when it comes to sprint, how you are going to define sprint? How you are going to define velocity in the sprint? The velocity is a matrix that defines with the rate of speed how much amount of the work can be delivered. Got it? And as the amount of work, when we say, it means that how many user stories in terms of story point can be delivered. Got it? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. We also spoke about capacity yesterday, and capacity units generally is measured in what, everyone?
Hours.
Hours. You are right. Thank you. Now, this says that meeting determines what the goals are for that sprint. Based on the team velocity, a set of features are pulled. The top of product backlog to the sprint backlog for the coming sprint. So remember yesterday, I also spoke about one more important thing, and that is?
Velocity.
Invest.
Yeah. And on the Kanban board, I was talking about this. It's a pull-based mechanism. You remember that? Yes, no? Where there is to-do list, right? And you have backlog refinement done. You have taken up some items into the sprint planning meeting. Now you have to start working. It's a self-managed team. In sprint planning, the work is not getting assigned to you. In fact, you pull the work out. Yeah. And when you are pulling and getting it assigned to yourself on the Kanban board, it gets visible. This mechanism is called as what? Pull-based
Pull-based.
mechanism. Yeah. So yesterday I had spoken about it. Anyone remember that from yesterday? Yes, no?
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of. So yeah. Okay. So kind of you need to pay full attention to remember that. I'm really wondering that why none of you were remembering that. Okay, never mind. So I'll make sure that to remember what extra I can do for you to remember this. Okay. So I have already covered this thing. Let's move further. You see, at the end, what happens with these user story, epics, and all? At last, everything gets converted into what?
Sprint.
Converted into what?
Task.
Task. Okay. It is picked from the product backlog, processed into sprint planning meeting, making sure that every single person involved as a team are assigned with those user story the equivalent task. When I say equivalent task, it means that user story will have the dev task, it will have the test task, it will have integration task, it will have architectural task, and architect will have the architect task, coder will have the dev task, and tester will have what task?
Testing task.
Testing task. Okay. So ultimately everything has to be come down. Now some tasks are not initially identified, only product backlog only product owner identifies them. Say for example, the date of deployment. So deployment task, some of the integration task. Okay. So that time product owner can define that, and he can or she can assign it to the architect or someone who is responsible or from the DevOps team. With me so far, everyone? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Everyone, are you getting my point? Anyone who is not getting? Let me quickly check. So Dev is there, Aparna, and Jubran, Swarupa, Kajal, and Ujwala, and Geeta. Everyone is there with me?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, I only hear Geeta's voice, and thank you so much for voicing. I mean, I know that someone is there who is interacting with me. Okay, thank you. Now, then what happens during the sprint? So during the sprint, no features are added and the sprint goals don't change. However, your Agile manifesto says that always welcome the change. Always welcome what?
Change.
Change. And uh, and if you are following Agile says that welcome the change. And here it says that no features are added and the sprint goals don't change. Isn't it contradicting the statement of Agile manifesto? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yes, you do welcome the change, but when it comes to adding in between, you route it through product owner. The only exception to this is if the team finishes a sprint early, definitely easily they check the capacity and they can accommodate that. But if capacity is not checked, okay, of course, when new requirement is coming as a new feature is coming, that requires to be understood, that requires to be refined, that user story has to be created. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So user stories, backlog grooming has to be done. These all things has to be done. When you are routing it through product owner is responsible for all the product backlog. If product owner is directly asking you, you can ask this question as a coach or as a scrum master. Okay, you are telling us to add this item, new feature. Do you have any feature that you want us to reprioritize or or keep it aside to prioritize the new feature in advance so that we can deliver with the current sprint? Now wait for his answer. If he says yes, of course you will ask the next question, what all the feature are. Have you taken the capacity and velocity alignment from the team? Have you identified who is working on what? So these are the preliminary questions that you are going to ask as a which person?
Scrum Master.
Scrum Master. That's right. Because when you will ask that, you are indirectly coaching him. You are indirectly doing what?
Coaching the
Yeah, you are
product
coaching
owner.
the product owner to align the thought process and their planning very well for the new feature, and so that the delivery may go smoother either with the new accommodation, new incorporation, or with the existing plan. With me so far, everyone?
Yes. Yes, Gaurav.
Yes.
Yes.
Anyone who is not with me?
Gaurav, I just had a question.
Yes, Ujwala.
So from what I understand, if a new feature has to be added, it has to be done at the beginning of the sprint and created as a backlog with the product owner's acknowledgement. Is that correct, or is it like?
Yes, you are right. What when it is some features came in between. During that, what you will do? What you told me, what you understood is right, and you said that it has to be done at the beginning. But what you will do when it comes in between? Say, for example, this is a 3 weeks long process, 3 weeks long sprint. Okay, just randomly, and you are in half of the sprint. Okay, it means that you are in your second week. Okay, and that time, in case new feature is coming, customer is asking you. Okay,
Okay.
so in that case, how you are going to handle it?
So we just create one backlog and keep it for the next sprint to decide.
So who you are to create that product backlog? As a coder, as a BA, or as a tester?
It has to be done by the product owner, like the product manager or the stakeholder?
So as of now, it will be created by product owner. Why product owner? Because product owners owns what?
The sprint. The
Sprint
product.
is by the entire team. Product owners initially owns the entire product backlog. Okay. Product
Okay.
owner owns the product backlog, entire team owns the sprint, and developer team, this coders or say developers, they own the development work, they own the sprint backlog. Okay, with me
Okay.
so far, Ujjwala?
Yep.
Now, you are right that product owner will design and he will convert into product backlog. But as a Scrum Master, what you will do uh, if coder has been asked or yeah, BA has been asked, okay, that new feature to be added by customer, and this guy who has been asked by customer reaches out to you as a Scrum Master. In that case, how you are going to respond to it? You are the Scrum Master, Ujjwala, and now
Yep.
BA or coder has reached out to you, right? So in
Right.
that case, how you are going to respond to that guy as a Scrum Master?
Scrum Master, I just take his requirements and then I create a backlog and depending on what backlogs, like what tasks are clashing, I would let him know that it probably cannot be included in the sprint, but it will be considered for the next iteration.
Okay, so you are saying that as a Scrum Master, you are going to create a product backlog. Is that right?
Right, correct.
Okay. And why you are going to create the product backlog?
Because I'll be the product owner.
But I asked you what? You as a Scrum Master, how you are going to respond. Did you get the question now?
Right, right. I got the question.
Yeah.
Um,
So you don't have to respond as a product owner. So again, would you like to attempt it? That as a
uh,
Scrum Master, how would you respond to this guy, this coder or BA or tester? Say for example, coder has come down to you and say that Scrum Master, this guy, the uh, customer has asked me to add this feature. What to tell?
um,
Scrum Master will do what?
Scrum Master, uh, it'll be like a I don't know.
Okay, thank you for being honest. So yeah, Ujjwala. So what will happen as a Scrum Master? You will definitely tell that, okay, fine. Send out email that what customer wants. You can keep the customer in loop because you are not aware that customer has asked. Okay. And now you don't have to worry about the new task. Okay. Focus on your existing task. From here, I will take it up. Okay. Of course, make sure that you have marked copy to product owner as well. Now, as a Scrum Master, your job is that to identify with the product owner because product owner is the bridge between team as well as the stakeholder for the communication. So you are going to ask this person, product owner, hey, how we are going to prioritize it? Can you check for its refinement? Can you check for its velocity and capacity and reconfirm with the customer that exactly they want this feature to be delivered in the current sprint only or in the next sprint? Now it is going to be whose headache? Now it is going to be product owner's headache. Okay. You have just passed the information for now. Yeah. They wanted to say something.
Yeah, I just had a question. So
Hmm.
during an active sprint, what happens if the stakeholder or the client comes and states that the feature he wants in that particular sprint, it's very urgent.
Yeah,
But then our
definitely.
sprint is already on, and
Hmm.
we have to wait until the next sprint starts. But the client doesn't want to wait or cannot wait. What happens in this scenario?
Okay. So you're saying that your client is coming to you saying that their client can't wait. Is it
Yes, and our sprint is on. It's already active.
active? It's ongoing in between the sprint. Okay.
Correct, correct. But the
You are
feature is very urgent. The
yeah.
the client says, this is a very important feature and I cannot miss it. You have to finish in this particular sprint.
Right, right. This is the obvious obvious scenario, and it keeps happening. Yeah, the customer wants star and moons and everything in the ongoing sprint itself. They cannot stay back, and they can't prioritize. So what happens is that who are you? Who is asking the team to do that? Are you product owner or Scrum Master who is asking the team to do this?
No, no, I'm just general asking. Like in this scenario, how would the team,
Okay.
approach?
So say for example, if say for example, it's a review meeting going on, okay, and product owner has diverted his attention on some other topic, and between customer says this to a coder, okay, coder says that okay, fine, let me talk about it with the Scrum Master or the product owner, and they will revert to you. That's number one. So then customer there are types of customer, right? The customer may say that, hey, you can't do it now. So he says that, no, I need to go through the priority wise. So he says that, okay, I'm the customer, I'm telling you the priority. So he will say, definitely, I'll do that. I'll have to take a product owner into the loop, and then we'll go ahead with that. And in this meeting cannot be done. So after the meeting will only be decided. And then you hand over to the product owner, and product owner will have to say that, Mr. Product Owner, or you as a Scrum Master, you can talk about it. So you can say that, Mr. Product Owner, definitely we can accommodate your requirement, customer's requirement. And in case you, customer and product owner, you as in Scrum Master, then product owner and customer are there in the call. Okay. You as in coder is also there in the call. Okay. And just a random call has been organized. Imagine this scenario. What is going to happen? Customer says that, hey, it's very, very urgent. I want this to happen, right? This is the typical scenario. May happen. Yes or no, Dev? Yeah.
Yes,
We
yes,
we
absolutely.
called
Yes, yes.
one urgent meeting for this. Okay. Customer says that, hey, this, that is going to happen. Now, Agile says that always be transparent. Always be what?
Transparent.
Transparent. Okay. There, what you need to go and say that, okay, Mr. Klein, and who is speaking? Product owner is going to speak. Okay, Mr. Klein, what we have is that we have the capacity of 200 hours in the week. Okay, our remaining hours is that, so when we say 200 hours, it is of 2 weeks. Okay, and here the example which we gave was of 3 weeks only. Okay, so it will become more, how many, 250 hours, say for example. Okay, 450 hours. Okay, the kind of work which you are asking for is estimation has to be done. Okay, and that would require different effort. And we need to also identify the velocity, and we need to map it with this user story along with the capacity. Okay, which would again require some process. Okay, so you will have to wait for a day for this, and then we can confirm you. And you also be prepared that what item you want to deprioritize. Otherwise, what in this situation, you have to be ready with the fund so that I can go ahead and ask for the extra resource, because I want to honor your ask. Okay, and definitely there is only one way out which I can see is that deputing new resource to complete this work. Otherwise, we are fully 100% occupied, right? The moment customer says that, don't worry about the budget, go ahead and do it. Now your work starts as a product owner, depute a new resource for this particular work, train him quickly in a day or two, and get the activity started. Got it, Dev?
Yeah, so one more thing. So if the budget is free flowing, so in other sense, the no issue with the money, product owner, although very rare, it could cancel that sprint and start the new sprint with the new feature requested by the client. Is it?
No, no, no,
Does
no,
it
no.
happen or rare?
No, 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 no. So what is going to happen? Say, for example, this is the team of 9 people. Okay. Agile says that it has to be less than 10. Okay. equivalent 10 or less than 10, but it says that it can be. It doesn't mean that it cannot go beyond 10. Definitely it can go beyond 10. If your capacity initially had 450 and now your capacity has increased because you added one resource, okay, by 24 hours, say for example, you or 30 hours, you added one 30 hours of resource, okay, one resource can contribute for 30 hours. Now you can see that new additional resource with the new user story can be clubbed together and delivered in the same sprints. Okay, why you are creating a different new sprint and why you are going, because customer want in the same sprint, and this is the feature of the same project. Why you need to create a new sprint altogether? You only said that this requirement has come in between, in the middle of the sprint. Then we agreed upon the budget and all, everything. A budget is there, pull the extra resource. A budget is not there, ask product owner to rethink, reprioritize every single thing, estimate, identify the velocity, and identify the user stories that to be reprioritized, deprioritized, or map it with the story point properly. Got it, Dave? Do you have any follow-up question on this?
Yeah, no, the only thing I want to say, this question arose because, after my previous training with you, I had done some simulation using different AI platforms.
Okay.
And in those simulations, different scenario, like, a real life scenario,
Right.
came in, and a lot of questions arose that time. So I had
Right.
noted down some questions for me to ask you, and that's why I
Right.
asked. But thank you so much
Okay.
for the
Yeah.
explanation.
You got your question answered there
Yes,
now?
yes, yes. I got it. I got it. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Uh,
And
uh,
guys, this, yeah, Ujjwala, go ahead.
it's Geeta. Geeta, I have a
Okay.
question. Here, like we are adding a new requirement in the in between, right?
Right.
In that time, do we have the meeting with all the members, like the development, the customer, the product owner, every time we are fixing this requirements? Or we'll have a separate meeting once we get the requirement they wanted to add it, we'll have a separate meeting with the development team, or we'll have all everything along with all of them, like customers, product owners, every time we'll be having like that.
Okay. It depends. So let me
Okay.
quickly give you the quick scenario. What
Mhm.
happens? Customer can ask anything at any point of time in any sort of meeting if customer is there. Okay.
Okay.
Let the customer ask, but this meeting on the estimation, planning, and capacity planning and all, availability and all, these all checks, budget, funding and all, these
Mhm.
has to be, these has to undergo certain processes, and such meetings cannot happen in the same group. Okay, your
Okay.
purpose is somewhere something else, you need to fulfill that purpose, and
Mhm.
then in a different meeting, okay, not necessarily customer has to be there. Product owner may convey, okay, sorry, product owner can be conveyed the new requirement from the customer, right?
Mhm. Okay.
What product owner does, that product owner conveys this back to the BA. Okay,
Okay.
now BA reaches back to customer and take the entire requirement well defined. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so this is one of the process. Now looking at it, the high level of estimation, product owner always understand high level of estimation. A product owner may ask from the developer if he or she is individual, or check with the customer, check with the entire team itself in a
Mhm.
casual meeting or any unplanned meeting or any separate meeting, which is not
Okay.
the part of the Scrum guide. Okay,
Okay.
there
Okay.
he or she can check it, and based on that he can give a soft confirmation to customer whether
Mhm.
they are going to do it or they can't do it, or meet the customer, and then there she can clarify that they are all in, or what they have done. The transparency says that tell
Mhm.
them if you have hired a new resource.
Okay.
Okay, so this is how it happens, but it never happens at the same meeting, not necessarily in front of customer. Everyone has to be present and decide
Mhm.
everything then and there.
Sure. Yeah. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for asking question. I really appreciate that. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Thanks, Dave, as well. Okay, good. So no features are added. It's quite clear now. Now what happens? Sprint planning is done. Then you will go and start working as well, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So when you will start working, so daily you are going to meet for the daily stand-up. As Prerna said, that's when we say stand up, you literally mean to stand up. And how long you need to stand up? In the stand-up meeting, how long you will stand up?
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
So for 15 minutes, everyone can stand up? Yes or no?
Yes.
Why it is time box for the 15 minutes and why everyone has to stand up?
It's a quick meeting and we cannot stand after 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's the quick meeting, and means this won't be stretched if you are if everyone is standing up, and if at all it start getting stretched, you have the idea. We were supposed to be stand up, and without with standing, we cannot stretch the meeting. For that, you require to sit down, and to sit down and discuss on that, you need to complete this stand up. Yes, quite logical. Yes,
Yeah.
agree.
Yes.
Now, and to consider this point, this idea came that you have to make sure that you are abiding by the guidelines and take this meeting with the stand-up only. When we say stand-up meeting, what you will do when you have team geographically distributed? In that case, what you will do? So who will know that whether you are standing, not standing? In that case, what may happen? I say that this is when it is in-person meeting, definitely you can stand up. But
Yeah.
what if there are multiple teams in different time zone? One is in India, one is in the USA, another one is in Australia, and third one is in Philippines or somewhere. How will you make sure that everyone is standing up? Or how you will run this stand-up meeting?
Schedule for 15 minutes once it is
Yeah,
done.
yeah. So schedule for 15 minutes all together. Everyone has to be together.
Yeah.
You map a common timeline where everyone will come together. But is it going to be in person?
No.
No. Then how it is going to be?
Remote or Zoom or any calls.
Yeah, it will be remote through the any web conferencing call. So in web conferencing call, you will ask everyone to stand up.
No.
Then how will you approach this? What is the purpose behind stand up is that everyone has to attend it. Now, in remote sitting, if you are saying that you are not going to ask everyone to stand up, how you are going to make sure that everyone is available and listening to each other?
Everybody should give 3 points on the what they're going to do.
Sprint,
Yeah. So see what happens. Say for example, it is in-person meeting. Everyone, say for example, Kajal, Aparna, Ujwala, and who else? Dev and Jubran are there. Okay, you guys can see each other in one room, right? And everyone is listening to each other. The whole idea is behind this stand-up meeting is that everyone is knowing that who is doing what, Geeta.
Okay.
Okay, and if you are in remote sitting, how you will make sure that what Kajal is speaking, Jubran is listening. What Jubran is speaking, Ujwala is listening. What Ujwala is speaking, Aparna is listening. How will you make sure that?
That face-to-face meeting by seeing on the screen, just guess.
You mean to say that if it is a remote meeting, it has to be face-to-face meeting, is it?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And how it will be face-to-face meeting if it is remote then?
sprint is starting
Ask
on time.
Yeah, yeah. Come again. Screen.
Sprint is starting on time. We already we decided time.
Yeah,
Everybody
we
come
did.
in within time limit.
Yeah,
Uh,
Kajal, that's right. But my question is that if it is a remote meeting, how Kajal will ensure that Aparna is listening? How Aparna will ensure Jubran is listening?
questions or inquire
No,
of something.
but
already
stand-up talks. Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody gives inputs in meeting.
Okay, see, in stand up, what do? You talk about what?
Whole
Same.
day planning. Important.
Uh,
Yeah,
Last eight, next eight bottom.
yeah, you talk about three things: last rate, next rate, bottleneck. Okay, but nowadays, Scrum Master asks, okay, tell me only bottleneck. Okay, last rate, next rate, you don't have to tell me. I will check it through the Jira or any project management tool nowadays. Okay, but imagine you have to tell last rate, next rate, bottleneck. Now you have invited everyone. Now visualize what I am saying and asking. You have invited everyone, but how will you make sure that everyone has joined the meeting? Okay, like Aparna, Dev, everyone's card I can see on Zoom. Okay, say for example, it is like this. On your screen, you see training, Prerna, Aparna, Dev, Jubran, Kajal, Ujwala, Geeta. Okay, now actually you are able to see these many cards are there. You can assume that these many people are there. Now, when Prerna's turn will come, Prerna will answer those three questions. But when Kajal is sharing her three uh, items like last date, next date, and bottleneck, how I am going to, and say for example, Dev is Scrum Master, how Dev is going to ensure that what Kajal has shared, Prerna has heard, or Jubran has heard, or Geeta has heard. That's my question. Because in this scenario, I'm not knowing that who is listening to me. Dev is on silent. I don't know whether he is listening to me.
No, yes.
Prerna has mute.
yeah.
No, I'm just giving example. So Prerna's button is on mute. I'm not sure whether she is listening to me. Kajal, my question: that if you are a Scrum Master, how will you ensure that everyone is there and getting
Ask,
everyone's talk registered? Yeah, Jubran.
ask them to deliver updates.
So, but we can ask, but that will be sequential, right?
Mm.
So, first one person has to give their update, then second, then third, then fourth, then fifth. The fifth person has heard the first person or not. How will I, as a Scrum Master, will ensure?
Or he'll ask like how everybody is okay with like commonly he'll ask and any thumbs up or okay or yes or no, guessing based on that
And
one.
still, there is possibility that someone does not do that. Yeah,
Yeah,
when I say, are you listening to me? Not necessarily everyone responds to me as a yes. Sometime only Geeta only responds to me, right? So how you are going to tackle this? Geeta, you had answered, but you have missed what you said. Okay, uh, you did not use the actual term what I am looking for. So when it is geographically distributed team, you will ask everyone to switch on their camera.
oh, okay.
Oh,
Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah,
So when you switch on your camera, can everyone not see each other?
yeah, sure.
They can see each other. And now, when they are nodding, not nodding, and the person who is not nodding, the person who is not engaged, you can identify then and there. And in case you have some doubt that some person is not really involved, you can catch that person later as a Scrum Master after immediate stand-up call.
Sure.
That hey, I noticed this. That was there any problem that you were not able to pay attention to Aparna's message? Got
So
it, guys?
I have one question, Gaurav.
Yeah,
If I say
Geeta.
face to face, that is not an exact term. We should say the on turn on the video.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
got it.
yes. So face to face is a casually said term. Okay.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay,
so this is also few people consider when I'm responding to you, I responded on your face, even though we are not on face
okay.
to face.
Sure.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
use these words. Well, so in interviewer, if they ask that geographically distributed team, how do you handle as a Scrum Master? Give me a typical scenario of conduction of daily stand-up meeting. So this is how you can tell.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it. Got it. Thank you.
Any questions so far, everyone?
yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Ujjwala.
No. I said I'm clear about this.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. So great, guys. I just quickly want to hear one word from you. That what do you feel like saying after today's session? Let's hear from Kajal. Kajal, what do you feel like saying? One word that comes in your mind now.
Uh, very good. And now I can understand IT terminology.
You can understand IT terminology. Thank you. I'm glad that you said so. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let's hear from Ujwala now. Ujwala, what one word that comes in your mind?
Responsive and explanatory. Like I could understand all the concepts.
You can understand. Thank you so much, Ujwala, for sharing that. Let me hear from Jubran. Jubran, what you feel like saying? One word that comes in your mind.
Uh, uh, excellent lecture. No, and
Excellent.
discussions.
Excellent lecture and discussion.
And also, I'm sorry for my answer. I meant minutes when I told you 30 to 60 minutes.
No,
Okay.
that's okay.
Sorry.
I always appreciate the involvement more than
Okay.
the answer.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Jubran.
Okay.
So yeah, appreciate it. Let's hear from Aparna. Aparna, what do you feel like saying? One word that comes in your mind?
I'm actually trying to sink in the concepts because we are having a discussion.
Yeah. So still sinking in. Yeah. So I'll pick this up from you. Still sinking in. Okay, thank you so much, Aparna. Let's hear from Dave. Dave, what do you feel like saying? One word?
Pretty engaging, insightful, interactive,
Ins-
collaborative.
Too many words. Thank you so much, Dave, for pouring them up. And let's hear from Geeta as well. Geeta, what do you feel like saying?
Yeah, I feel like the choice of word is very important when we do
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
great learning. Thank you so much, Geeta.
Thank you.
And do you think that, Geeta, this particular learning which you shared at the end is going
Mm.
to help you in a long run as well?
Sure, yes.
And do you think everyone, if they get your this insight and follow that, this will be helpful for all these people who are sitting here?
Yes, because when we say something, right, it makes the difference when the words we use it, right, whether we know it or
Yes.
not, in the exact space.
Yes, and great idea. And this will be useful for all those people who have not heard you, if they will be listening to you in the recording. So it will be helpful for them as well, right, Geeta?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing,
Thank you.
everyone. You can give a round of applause for a major learning share, which really should be appreciable because you are walking away with a learning as well. Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you, Geeta. And we'll talk to you again soon. Bye bye. Good night,
Good
and have
night,
a
guys.
great
Bye-bye.
week
Take
ahead.
care.
Bye
Good
bye.
night. Bye-bye. Good night.